some people love drama.
The Lakers are facing a scandal unlike anything the NBA has ever seen. According to insider info, LeBron and Luka just got into a fight in the locker room because the one thing LeBron James never believed could happen just did. Luka Dončić didn't just arrive in Los Angeles, he replaced him in the hierarchy overnight. The moment Luka landed, the entire organization shifted around him, and suddenly LeBron, the guy who ran this franchise for 6 straight years, wasn't the first voice they listened to anymore. Luka was. And the moment that made it obvious to the fans was after a recent game. Rob Pelinka, the Lakers manager, ignored LeBron and followed Luka into the tunnel. You could see the shock on LeBron's face. The energy in Los Angeles has shifted. The throne is slipping. Luka is taking over, and LeBron knows it. So today we're exposing everything, from the moment in the tunnel to the actions that led to the altercation in the locker room. Trust me, you haven't seen anything like this. If you thought LeBron still called the shots with the Lakers, think again. From the way the team is moving to how the front office is acting, everything
First time I heard it, I thought it was for sure fake.
Exclusively to LeBron. It's not just rumors. Watch the games. Look at the stats. Luka is dropping triple doubles, hitting impossible shots, and somehow making everyone around him better. Meanwhile, LeBron is doing his thing, sure, but it's clear there's a new sheriff in town. And the signs are everywhere if you're paying attention. I mean, it's common knowledge that the front office is making their plans for the next decade centered around Luka. The Lakers' social team posts more of Luka's big shots, Luka celebrations, Luka's mic'd up moments, while LeBron's content feels way lighter than it used to. Even NBA legends, guys LeBron grew up idolizing, are now talking about Luka like he's the one carrying the league forward. But all of this is happening while LeBron is still on the roster. He always knew Luka was the future. He just didn't expect the franchise to shift this fast, this publicly, and this completely. So yes, Luka isn't just another star on the Lakers. He's the reason the team is evolving, the reason the franchise is thinking long-term, and the reason LeBron, for the first time in his career, might actually be feeling left out, especially since he has always been the man in all the teams he's played for. Heck, that was why he betrayed the Cavs in 2010. And honestly, things are about to get even messier once we get into what went down with the trade, the timing, and how LeBron reacted when he realized the throne had been taken from him and given to Luka. When the news dropped that Luka Dončić was coming to the Los Angeles Lakers in exchange for Anthony Davis, plus a few other pieces, the whole NBA world went into shock. Calm down, what's the big deal about? It wasn't just another trade. This was the kind of blockbuster no one saw coming. I mean, a reigning all-star, all-NBA guard in his prime shipped from the Dallas Mavericks to the Lakers? That kind of trade doesn't happen often. Right after the trade was confirmed, the reactions were as dramatic as the trade itself. Fans, analysts, former players, everybody lost their minds. Some called it the most shocking trade in recent NBA history. Luka himself admitted it was surreal. He said learning the news felt unreal, like a bad prank. He looked shaken and emotional, which is fair because he'd spent his whole career in Dallas, and suddenly he was the Lakers' property. And honestly, the Lakers fans accepted him with open arms, almost like they had been waiting for their savior. And then Luka's arrived. A little sad about losing AD, but we got in his prime Luka, right? So we're set for the next 10, 15 years. What do you think of the trade with Luka Dončić? Great, yet by the time he walked out at the Lakers' official press event, the message was clear. What happens in the locker room should stay there, but some people love drama. The Lakers are facing a scandal unlike anything the NBA has ever seen. According to insider info, LeBron and Luka just got into a fight in the locker room because the one thing LeBron James never believed could happen just did. Luka Dončić didn't just arrive in Los Angeles, he replaced him in the hierarchy overnight. The moment Luka landed, the entire organization shifted around him, and suddenly LeBron, the guy who ran this franchise for 6 straight years, wasn't the first voice they listened to anymore. Luka was. And the moment that made it obvious to the fans was after a recent game. Rob Pelinka, the Lakers manager, ignored LeBron and followed Luka into the tunnel. You could see the shock on LeBron's face. The energy in Los Angeles has shifted. The throne is slipping. Luka is taking over, and LeBron knows it. So today we're exposing everything, from the moment in the tunnel to the actions that led to the altercation in the locker room. Trust me, you haven't seen anything like this. If you thought LeBron still called the shots with the Lakers, think again. From the way the team is moving to how the front office is acting, everything is suddenly about Luka Dončić. He's the guy making the plays, the guy teammates look to, the guy getting the smiles, the pats on the back, and yes, the attention that used to belong exclusively to LeBron. It's not just rumors. Watch the games. Look at the stats. Luka is dropping triple doubles, hitting impossible shots, and somehow making everyone around him better. Meanwhile, LeBron is doing his thing, sure, but it's clear there's a new sheriff in town. And the signs are everywhere if you're paying attention. I mean, it's common knowledge that the front office is making their plans for the next decade centered around Luka. The Lakers' social team posts more of Luka's big shots, Luka celebrations, Luka's mic'd up moments, while LeBron's content feels way lighter than it used to. Even NBA legends, guys LeBron grew up idolizing, are now talking about Luka like he's the one carrying the league forward. But all of this is happening while LeBron is still on the roster. He always knew Luka was the future. He just didn't expect the franchise to shift this fast, this publicly, and this completely. So yes, Luka isn't just another star on the Lakers. He's the reason the team is evolving, the reason the franchise is thinking long-term, and the reason LeBron, for the first time in his career, might actually be feeling left out, especially since he has always been the man in all the teams he's played for. Heck, that was why he betrayed the Cavs in 2010, and honestly, things are about to get even messier once we get into what went down with the trade, the timing, and how LeBron reacted when he realized the throne had been taken from him and given to Luka. When the news dropped that Luka Dončić was coming to the Los Angeles Lakers in exchange for Anthony Davis, plus a few other pieces, the whole NBA world went into shock. Calm down, what's the big deal about? It wasn't just another trade. This was the kind of blockbuster no one saw coming. I mean, a reigning all-star, all-NBA guard in his prime, shipped from the Dallas Mavericks to the Lakers? That kind of trade doesn't happen often. Right after the trade was confirmed, the reactions were as dramatic as the trade itself. Fans, analysts, former players, everybody lost their minds. Some called it the most shocking trade in recent NBA history. Luka himself admitted it was surreal. He said learning the news felt unreal, like a bad prank. He looked shaken and emotional, which is fair because he'd spent his whole career in Dallas, and suddenly he was the Lakers' property. And honestly, the Lakers fans accepted him with open arms, almost like they had been waiting for their savior. And then Luka's arrived. A little sad about losing AD, but we got in his prime Luka, right? So we're set for the next 10, 15 years. What do you think of the trade with Luka Dončić? Great, yet by the time he walked out at the Lakers' official press event, the message was clear.
The front office, spearheaded by Rob Pelinka, did not attempt to hide their excitement. Pelinka talked about Luka as the centerpiece of the franchise's next era, like the Lakers were committing to a long-term pivot around him, especially when you think about the timing, because that made everything feel, well, chaotic. Around the moment of the trade, LeBron was dealing with a left calf foot issue, the kind that made him miss games at the start of the season. And that was the first time in decades that's happened. That injury, call it unlucky, call it poetic, meant LeBron wasn't able to step up immediately for a franchise suddenly betting on a new star. Perfect timing. When interviews started, LeBron's reaction was telling. He admitted he thought the trade was a joke at first, said he couldn't believe Davis was gone, said it didn't feel real until he saw Luka suit up with the Lakers. On camera, it was obvious that he didn't have a problem with Luka joining the Lakers. I was out with my family at dinner and got the news, and first time I heard it, I thought it was for sure fake. Thought it was a hoax, people messing around, whatever. In fact, he embraced the idea of having a big man with him in a fence. But what he didn't know was how fast everyone would switch up from him and turn to Luka. So just like that, the groundwork was laid. A trade that was meant to shake up Dallas turned into a reset for Los Angeles. The league's spotlight shifted. The fans went crazy. The front office pivoted. And LeBron, the guy who once defined the Lakers, suddenly found himself playing for a team that was signaling that he wasn't the top dog anymore. Here's where things start to get messy, because once Luka Dončić landed at the Lakers, it wasn't just a new jersey swap. It felt like someone flipped the entire locker room upside down. A couple weeks after the trade, rumors began buzzing, and some insider info revealed that the vibe in Los Angeles had shifted. One of the loudest voices was Javon Buha, the Lakers reporter. He mentioned that inside the organization, there's real concern that frustration and uncertainty are creeping in, and some players and staff don't even know what this team is anymore. To understand how much this hit LeBron, you have to put his history into context. LeBron has always controlled decisions in every team he's been with. His entire career has been about controlling everything around him. Well, until Luka came around. Take Cleveland, for example. During his first stint with the Cavs, he was frustrated because he claimed the team's management couldn't build a contender around him. When he returned in 2014, everything changed. The team acquired Kevin Love because LeBron demanded it. Even coaching wasn't safe from his influence. David Blatt got fired mid-season in 2015-16, despite leading the East, and LeBron's preferred assistant, Tyronn Lue, got promoted. He even used 1+1 contracts to maintain leverage and pressure the front office into making win-now moves. And now, in Los Angeles, the nickname LEGM didn't come from nowhere. He pushed for Anthony Davis, publicly demanded roster improvements, and even had a hand in influencing the Lakers' decision to draft his son, Bronny. Yes, the kid's path to the NBA wasn't exactly untouched by Dad's clout.
LeBron has always been about controlling the narrative and the roster, but this was a huge shock to him because the Lakers management didn't only ignore him once Luka arrived, they started treating Luka the exact way LeBron used to be treated when he was number one. The priority meetings, attention, difference, body language, all of it shifted straight to Luka almost overnight. In fact, it got so crazy that rumors came out that LeBron confronted Luka about who's really running the team. This argument almost led to an actual fight, and other teammates had to pick sides. They tried to hide it well, until during a recent game, right after a timeout, LeBron shook someone else's hand but ignored Luka and left him hanging. This wasn't just some locker room initiation.
This was a classic power shakeup. LeBron has spent decades at or near the top. He's used to steering teams, calling plays, and being the guy. But now there's someone who can challenge that naturally. Not because Luka is trying to, but because he's just that good. The younger talent, the fan attention, the media praise, all of it chips away at the aura LeBron has spent decades building. Inside those walls, people are asking, is this still LeBron's team, or is Luka quietly taking over? This isn't just insider rumors, it's a slow power shift, and in a league where dynamics matter as much as stats, the cracks are showing. If you thought the trade alone was big, this switch is about to be way bigger. And trust me, once you see how Luka's teammates and even other NBA legends talk about him with awe and respect, you realize the tension between LeBron and Luka is about to boil over in ways that are going to make the NBA more intense than anything we've seen in years. Man, you couldn't script this better if you tried. Since Luka Dončić showed up, everyone from teammates to old school legends seems to be tipping toward Luka. Take Austin Reeves for starters. After a big win, he mentioned how he usually doesn't give Luka too many compliments, but he thinks that Luka is one of the best players in the league. He went further and even praised Luka's leadership and ability to make other players better. Reeves basically said, "Luka is the one we ride with. He wants to go out there and win." So when you put a guy like that on your team, and obviously everybody knows how skilled he is, and you know the way he makes the game, easy for everybody else. Oh, and that's not all. Once word of Luka's arrival spread, even NBA legends started lighting up about him. Allen Iverson, who's known for his brutally honest takes, didn't hold back. On a podcast, he said this, "Who in the league reminds you of yourself? Everybody say, John. What the hell is wrong with Luka?" And trust me, that's probably the highest compliment a player could have gotten from Iverson. Kevin also recently said that Luka joining the Lakers effectively gives LeBron a chance at 3 more years in the league. What did Luka do for Bron? What, man? This brought Bron 3 years. You know what Bron can do? This what Bron wanted AD to do. Go ahead, big fella. Hey, go ahead. This Luka about to do is about to be impacted. What Kevin was pointing out is subtle but brutal. Even with all the anger, the power struggle, and the tension, Luka's presence is shaping LeBron's career and legacy. People are siding with Luka because he didn't just win hearts. He brought value to the Lakers and started rewriting the scoreboard, turning every game into a statement that the future of the franchise was now his. The numbers are clear. Before Luka landed with Los Angeles, the Lakers' offense was manageable, but nothing like this. After the trade, everything shifted. According to tracking data, the Lakers' three-point attempt frequency surged from 34.3 to 42.3 per 100 possessions. That's a jump from near the bottom of the league to top 3 in three-point volume. That change alone forces defenses to stretch out, which plays right into Luka's hands because defense starts leaving the paint, spacing opens up, and now you have shooters and role players getting better opportunities. That's not luck, that's a system being redesigned around Luka's strengths. It's no accident the Lakers' offensive rating shot up to 116.1 with him on the floor. He pulled the Lakers' offensive rating up, and now they are top 7 in the league. And that's for the team. What about his personal stats? In his very first game back against his old team, the Mavericks, just weeks after the blockbuster trade, Luka put up 19 points, 15 rebounds, and 12 assists to earn his first triple-double as a Laker. That was the 81st triple-double of his career. Imagine being the Mavericks management at that moment and realizing what you lost. Over his first stretch as a Laker, he's been averaging roughly 27-28 points, 8.2 rebounds, 7.58 assists per game, even as he adjusts to a new system and teammates. Those numbers aren't just good for the Lakers, they've been transformative. And because Luka commands attention and respect, teammates like Austin Reeves and Jackson Hayes are actually getting better on the court. According to the same analysis, pick-and-roll efficiency with Luka running it jumped from about 0.92 to 1.18 points per possession after February 2025. That means players who looked ordinary last season now have space to shine because defenses can't collapse the paint the way they used to. That's a direct ripple effect of having a playmaker like Luka lead the team. So instead of the slow, clunky sets or LeBron's predictable isolation style, the Lakers now have better spacing, execution, and pace.
That was the major shift that forced the front office and coaching staff to lean into a Luka-first offensive identity. As one insider said, this trade was less about swapping players and more about flipping the entire operating system. Let's be real, the Lakers couldn't base their future around a 41-year-old player whose best years are behind him. With Luka's youthful energy, elite output, and the way he's dragging the offensive ratings up, management saw a clear path. This gives the Lakers not just short-term scoring, but a multi-year plan. Luka is only 26. He's still hungry, he's still improving, and still has room to grow with a franchise built around him. So it's understandable why they quickly needed to shift their attention. If the trade was just about putting Luka on the roster, people would just call it ambitious. But what it turned into was a full-blown reboot of the Lakers' identity. And if you ask me, the Lakers aren't just playing games this season. They're building a new legacy, one that doesn't need LeBron to carry it. Because with Luka at the wheel, the engine is working perfectly. And right now, when you put Luka Dončić side by side with LeBron James, the numbers make it clear who is better right now. Let's start with usage. Luka is commanding 33.8% of the Lakers' offense this season. That means roughly 1 in every 3 offensive plays touches him. Meanwhile, LeBron's usage has dipped to about 28.8%, meaning the offense isn't leaning on him as much as it used to. The ball is moving through Luka, and it's moving efficiently. Luka is averaging 28.2 points per game, grabbing 8.1 rebounds and dishing out 7.5 assists in 35 minutes per game. LeBron? He's at 24.4 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 8.2 assists in roughly the same minutes. Luka also maintains elite true shooting percentage while taking on heavy minutes and defensive attention. LeBron simply can't sustain that same output. And here's where it gets really interesting, because it's not just what Luka is doing on the court, it's also what's happening behind the scenes. The Lakers front office is sending an even louder message, and trust me, it's clear as day. Remember that tunnel moment we saw earlier? How LeBron and Luka walked in after the game and Rob Pelinka didn't follow LeBron, but followed Luka. You don't need a degree in body language to understand that one. That's symbolic power. That's the GM saying without words, this is our guy now. LeBron is slowly fading out, and he knows it. And you may be asking yourself, why does Pelinka walking with Luka matter so much? Well, it's because the Lakers aren't subtle when they pick a chosen star. Look at history. Magic Johnson, Shaq, Kobe. Once the front office decided who was the centerpiece, everything shifted, from marketing campaigns to roster construction, media narratives, and even season ticket promotions. The franchise bends around its chosen one, and right now, Luka is that player. The proof is everywhere. Luka is reportedly meeting with Pelinka more than any other player, discussing rotations, roster moves, and long-term strategy. Marketing campaigns have quietly started favoring Luka. Season ticket promotions and social media campaigns are subtly highlighting him as the face of the franchise.
The news coming from insiders is that the Lakers are now in a post-LeBron era, and management is planning accordingly. Pelinka even said in interviews that the Lakers are building around Luka for the next 10 years. I can't think of a more amazing starting point to build a roster for the next decade. And so what exactly did LeBron expect? That he'd hold the #1 spot forever? That the franchise would keep giving him the upper hand over everyone else? But here's the part where the tension is starting to boil over. Because after the front office signaled who they're focusing on, LeBron seems to be quietly, maybe desperately, trying to reclaim control. Some nights it feels like he's fighting for the old throne. On certain nights, LeBron grabs the ball and forces the offense through himself. Plays that should flow through Luka, the team's new leader, are stopped in their tracks. Even in interviews, LeBron has dropped hints about experience and knowing how to lead, poking at Luka. Even though we all know how performative LeBron's leadership is, the phrase I've sort of landed on, he's a front runner. When he thinks the team is good and has a legit shot at winning a championship, he can do that leadership, and he's really in, like 2019. When he doesn't, that's when you see the passive-aggressive stuff not showing up. And what's worse is the media and other NBA players are not making it easy for LeBron as well. Right after Luka's trade, sports shows, NBA analysts, and even fellow players started flipping. The narrative wasn't, can the Lakers make it work anymore? It was, is Luka now the new face of the league? And I think you're going to see a real separation on most nights with Luka and LeBron. I think Luka is going to play like the best player in the league. In fact, to quote Paul Pierce, they're going to let LeBron groom Luka to be the face of the league on Lakers. On ESPN's post-trade breakdown, one analyst called the swap the wildest move we've seen in years, bigger than even the Big Three era. Yeah, the same Big Three that LeBron was a part of. Already there are debates on air about what this means for LeBron. Some pundits ask if the Lakers are just using him as a bridge, a temporary veteran anchor until Luka takes over fully. And social media has gone wild as well, with memes of Luka carrying LeBron on his back, and even chants around Luka and his name.
Even on TV interviews, vets and analysts talk more about the future than LeBron's past achievements. They discuss Luka's global appeal, merchandise sales, ticket demand, and how having a young star like him affects the Lakers' long-term brand. But LeBron? He barely gets mentioned. The headline now is Luka, not LeBron. And here's where everything gets even messier. Because the media hype didn't just hit the players, it also hit the fan base like a grenade. Laker Nation is basically turning on LeBron. And you can see it everywhere, from comment sections to dudes arguing outside the arena like it's a family court hearing. You've got the younger fans, especially the Gen Z crowd, who are fully locked in on Luka. They're the ones posting clips, making edits, breaking down plays, and calling him the future of Los Angeles. They love the way he plays, the step backs, the insane passes, the aura, and the fact that he's 26 and already playing at that level. To them, Luka isn't just a player, he's the definition of the next era. He's the reason they're buying tickets again. And what is more surprising is that a lot of older fans, the ride or die Kobe, MJ, and Showtime era fans, they're sliding over to Luka too. Luka is a reminder of how skilled and intense NBA players used to be, and because they've seen this movie before, they know what the future of the franchise is supposed to feel like. They watched the torch pass from Magic to Kobe, from Kobe to nobody for a long time, and now Luka shows up, and suddenly everything has that energy again. And that shift, that's dangerous for LeBron, because once the fans pick their new favorite, the organization usually follows. Kobe had that army.
Magic had that army, Shaq had that army, and now Luka is slowly building the same thing, a fan base that's all in on him and based on truth. So when you combine the media frenzy, the front office signals, and now the fans literally choosing sides in real time, you can see exactly why LeBron is feeling threatened. Because he's not just fighting Luka on the court, he's fighting the entire city. And man, that's a battle he cannot win. So now the real question, the part nobody on TV wants to say out loud, but every fan is already debating. Is this the end for LeBron? Or has Luka already taken the throne just by being better, younger, and more explosive? Is the franchise already in a post-LeBron era? Because everything from the marketing pushes to the lineup decisions to the way players talk about the future feels like the Lakers are already pivoting. Here's the truth the league can't ignore. Luka is the future, LeBron is the past, and Los Angeles is choosing who to follow next. So I'll ask you, whose side are you on?